Hey guys, I have been getting loads and loads of questions lately on my videos and stuff asking if I'm going to be doing One Book July. So I thought I would do a little video and answer that question. Okay, so if you have absolutely no idea what One Book July is, then stop. Check out the video description on this video. There will be a link to a video by Romany of Romany's Realm, and she will tell you all about One Book July, what it is, the background behind it and all of that kind of jazz. So if you don't know what I'm going on about, stop the video right here, watch her video and then come back again. If you do know what One Book July is all about, then hello, welcome to my video. So as you know, I have lots of journals and planners and stuff because I've done videos on those, and most recently I talked about some of the multiple planners that I have and what I use them for. And there are a lot of people who are like me out there, planner addicts and journal nerds and all that kind of stuff, who have multiple planners and journals and stuff, and they totally get it. And there are other people who kind of, sometimes I feel like they don't understand me or why I've got so many planners and stuff, and they feel that doing One Book July, it's almost like, sometimes I feel like I'm being teased when they say, I bet you're not doing One Book July, and it's like, keeping multiple planners and journals is somewhere between hobby and necessity with me, or not necessarily necessity, but an added help and bonus, and helps me to run my life more smoothly. So if you watched my multiple planners videos, you'll know that I only actually really use one planner on a day-to-day basis, and that's for work and personal. But then I also have other planners, as I've mentioned, that are sort of specific things. Like I have another planner which is just for all the Brimbles box stuff, and that's kind of planning out themes and looking at suppliers and collating the theme for the month and kind of what's going in the box. So that's, I kind of keep that separate. It doesn't have to be separate, but it just kind of works for me if it is separate. It helps me to function better. And then I have a separate planner for recording the health and wellness of my animals. That just works for me because I don't use it on a daily basis. It just works for me to have that in a separate planner. Same for Christmas. Having it in a separate planner just really works for me because I don't use them all the time. So it's not like I have to have all of this stuff in separate planners, and it just works for me better that way, because then I can, in my daily planner, I can then focus on what I'm doing that day, and just really works for me like that. And then in terms of journals, I do have a lot of journals on the go, but that's because I enjoy it, not because it's kind of like oh, I've got to have all these journals. I just very much like a lot of people out there, love having different notebooks, different papers. Sometimes I feel a different affinity to a notebook than I do another book, that kind of thing. I fall in and out of love with different journals or journaling styles, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I have journals, different journals on the go. I have journals more like the Fauxbonichi, where I've just been doing little doodles and sketches with writing. Then I have other journals which are kind of like a more mixed media and like paint-y kind of journals, and it's just because I enjoy it and I love to do it. So I often find that people are like, oh, she's not going to do One Book July, or she couldn't do One Book July, or oh, it'd be really funny to see her do One Book July. There's kind of like a whole spectrum. Some people are just really interested to see if I was going to do One Book July. Some people I feel like they're a bit like, oh, she couldn't possibly do One Book July. So, am I going to do One Book July? Yes. Last year I had every intention of doing One Book July, but I kind of came to it a little bit late last year, and I can't remember, something happened last year, and I kind of came to it late, and then it was kind of like, oh, is it too late in the month to start? And for one thing or another, I didn't really get going. This year, I fully intend to do One Book July, and doing One Book July, I think, will be fairly easy. Choosing the book for One Book July, not so easy. So I'm not going to worry about my multiple planners because I won't really be using them. Like, I'm not going to be using my Christmas planner, and touch wood, I'm not going to be using my animals health planner. So I'm not worried about those other planners that are just sitting on my shelf. Obviously, I've got my daily planner and sort of like some sort of journal. So I've narrowed it down to the possible 3 culprits. This is what I narrowed it down to, and I'll just kind of talk through those a little bit and then narrow it down to which one of those that I have chosen. Right, so let's start with a ring-bound planner then, such as a Filofax, Franklin Covey, Kiki K, that kind of stuff. I have in my hand here in Webster's Pages Colour Crush. This was the first planner that I just picked up for purposes of this video. So, tempting to use a ring-bound planner because I can take things in and out of it, move things around. If it's getting too bulky, I can take stuff out, add stuff in. The Webster's Pages Colour Crush planners, they come with a section, like if you buy the planner with the inside kit, it comes with a divider that says memory keeping on it, as well as one that says calendar and lists, and so in theory it's kind of set up for you already so that you could have a diary section and a journal section. So that was one possibility. The other possibility was to use some sort of faux dory. My faux dory is made by Neen. She's Neen Showers on Etsy. Mine is a fabric one, and it's an A5 size because when it comes to journals and stuff, I'm an A5 size kind of girl. I did have a faux dory that was a traditional Midori traveller's size, and I didn't really care for it all that much. I don't know, I just found the pages too narrow for me, whereas I love the A5 size. The beauty of the faux dory is that you could put more than one notebook in it, but then I was like, is that cheating by having more than one notebook? So I could have a notebook in there for a diary, a notebook in there for a journal, but then I was like, well then that ends up being through several notebooks under a cover. So I wasn't sure about that. Love that. And then the last option I narrowed it down to is the Happiness Planner, which is actually the planner that I am going to use for One Book July. I did an unboxing of this when I got it. Oh, by the way, I've customised mine. I had a gold die cut in the shape of glasses, which I've just put on top to make it a little bit nerdy, just in case you're wondering, they don't come with the glasses on. Yeah, so I showed you this planner when I first got it, and I did start to use it for a couple of days and then stopped using it. I found it hard to use, particularly alongside my other planners. So you're probably thinking, why is she using it then if she found it hard to use? Well, a couple of reasons. One, because I want to use it, because it's just sitting on my shelf doing nothing, and I can't give it to anybody because I've already started writing in there and there's personal things in there. So it does seem a shame. So I want to use it and I want to give it a good go. Plus I want to do a review on this beauty, and I don't think you can do a review on something that you haven't used. And thirdly, I think actually the layout inside would be quite good as a planner and a journal. So the way the planner's kind of set out is there's quite a lot of space, and I'm talking quite minimalistic journaling here. I'm not talking lots of journaling. So that's going to be interesting for the month of July. There is a few things going on, so I'm a bit busy in July, but I don't know whether I need to do that, like loads of journaling, or want to do loads of journaling. We'll see how it goes. So on the right hand side you have a schedule section where you can put like your appointments and meetings, that kind of thing for the day, and there's also a to-do section. On the left hand side is a notes and ideas section. So what I thought is this side could be for planning and this side could be for journaling. That's kind of what I thought. thought anyway. So we'll see. That's the book that I'm going to go with, and we'll see how I get on. I will see about maybe doing an update video if you guys would be interested, so that you can see how I'm getting on. I know there's a few people doing One Book July, and I've seen some setup videos going out already. So yeah, I'm not going to do a setup video because this planner's already set up for you, and if you've seen the unboxing of it, you'll know how it's set up already, so there isn't really a setup video to do per se. But yeah, that's kind of it. So I am doing One Book July and I'll be interested to see how I get on, as probably you will too. Yeah, I think it's a good, interesting concept to see if you can use one book for the month. As I say, the reason I don't use one book is not because I can't, it's because I don't want to. I just really enjoy using other books. But that being said, I do like a challenge. I do like a challenge, because after I've said that, people are going to be like, well, if you like using other books, then why are you making yourself use one book for the month? Well, I just really enjoy the challenge, and just interesting to see. I think sometimes, excuse me, I've got hay fever, so my nose is really itchy. That's better. I think sometimes we, like in an art perspective, we can have a room full of art and craft supplies, but that doesn't make you an artist. I find sometimes that having too much paint or craft supply, art supply, can sometimes be overwhelming, and you've got all this stuff but don't really feel motivated to do anything with it, or don't know what to do with it. Whereas sometimes I find that if you just go to your room, pick out 5 things, and you can only use those 5 things, sometimes you'd be more creative with them. If that makes sense. So having lots of planners and stuff doesn't necessarily, you know what I mean, like you don't necessarily need to have all this. So it's just interesting to see what will come out of this, to see whether I'll end up journaling more or less, or whether I get more creative with it or less, or anything like that. So there we go. That's my, am I doing One Book July or not? And if you'd like to see updates and progress, then let me know, and if you do, then I will share with you how I'm getting on throughout July. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.